My fiancée swapped my name for her ex's on our wedding invites. It was a typo, she laughed. I replied, I'll fix it. Then I called the venue, canceled the reception, and emailed the corrected guest list a new invite to my I'm single again party. Her mom's screaming voicemail. I, 32 male, am, or rather was, a fiancé. I'm a planner. I'm a data guy. I like spreadsheets and clear-cut goals. My fiancée, Eliza, 30, is not. She's a go-with-the-flow, live-in-the-moment, aesthetics are everything kind of person. I thought we balanced each other out. I thought her chaos was charming, and she thought my stability was comforting. Turns out her chaos was just a deep, abiding love for her ex-boyfriend. We've been planning our wedding for a year. It's in 3 weeks. The stress has been high. Her mother, Diana, 50, is the ringleader, and she has a taste for things that cost more than my car. I've just been signing checks, trying to keep the peace. I've paid for 90% of this circus. The venue, the band, the artisanal, 6-tier probably tastes like cardboard cake. All on my cards. Eliza, who has a background in graphic design, insisted on handling the invitations herself. She used some high-end, painfully expensive letterpress service. The feel has to be right, Grant, she'd said. It's the first thing people see. It sets the tone. The box arrived yesterday. I was genuinely excited. This was it, the final piece. I slid open the box. The top one was beautiful. Thick, creamy cardstock. Elegant gold script. I read it. Diana and her dad's name request the pleasure of your company at the marriage of their daughter Eliza Rose to Julian Scott. I stopped breathing. My brain just buffered. Julian is her ex-boyfriend, the one she dated for 5 years before me, the one her mother still brings up at holidays, the one who got away that she swore she was over. My name is Grant. I pulled out another one. Same, another, same, the whole box. 200 invitations, all inviting our friends and family to the wedding of Eliza and Julian. I was weirdly calm. Just cold. I walked into the living room where Eliza and Diana were looking at floral centerpieces on a laptop. Hey Liza, I said, my voice sounding distant. The invites are here. There's a small problem. Oh, thank God, she said, not looking up. How do they look? Are they perfect? They're something, I said. They look great, but they have the wrong name on them. Diana huffed. What? Did they misspell your last name? Those printers, I swear. No, I said. They got your name right, Eliza. They put Julian's name instead of mine. Silence. Diana's head snapped up. Eliza froze. Then Eliza laughed, a high-pitched, hysterical titter. Oh my God, she said, covering her mouth. No. Are you serious? She grabbed the invite from my hand. Her face went pale, then flushed bright red. It must have been a typo, she gasped, still laughing. A typo, can you believe it? The printer must have, oh my God, I must have uploaded the wrong draft. I had his name in there as a placeholder from an old file. How embarrassing. Diana chimed in. A typo? Oh, Eliza, it's just a silly mistake. Grant, don't look so serious. It's honestly hilarious. I just stared at her. A typo? You typoed your ex-boyfriend's full name onto our wedding invitations. Grant, stop, she said, her laugh fading into annoyance. It was a mistake, a stupid file error. Don't be paranoid. You're ruining the mood. We'll call them, get a reprint. Eliza, I said, my voice still quiet. The wedding is in 3 weeks. There's no time for a reprint and to mail them out. And you didn't type this. You uploaded a file named Eliza and Julian's wedding. Her eyes went wide. I hadn't even known that. It was a guess. A cold, logical deduction. Her expression confirmed it. You are so dramatic, she snapped. It's just a name. God, you're always like this, trying to make me feel bad. It was a simple, stupid mistake. Are you going to hold this over my head forever? I looked at her. Really looked at her. The panic in her eyes, the immediate gaslighting, the shift to my behavior being the problem. I thought about the last year, the accidental texts from him she'd reply to, the way her mom said, Julian used to love this restaurant, the everything. The circuit breaker in my head, the one that keeps me calm and logical, just flipped. I smiled. It felt tight and wrong. You're right, I said. It's just a typo, a silly mistake. Don't worry about it, babe. I'll fix it. She visibly relaxed. Oh, okay. Good. See, not a big deal. Not at all, I said. I'll handle the typo and the guest list. You keep working on the flowers. They're the important part, right? The tone. Exactly, she said, relieved. Thank you, baby. You're the best. I went into my home office and closed the door. I sat there for 10 minutes, just vibrating. The hurt was a physical thing, like a punch to the gut. Then, I got to work. I'm a planner after all. Step 1, the money, 7:10 p.m. I opened my laptop. I have a separate high-yield savings account where I'd been dumping all the wedding funds. It had about $22,000 left in it. I transferred the entire balance to my personal checking, then transferred it again to a new savings account at a completely different bank, effective immediately. Step 2, the venue. I pulled up the contract for the Grand Oak, our stupidly expensive venue. I'd paid the $10,000 deposit. The final $15,000 was due next week. I called the events manager, Sharon. Sharon, hi, it's Grant. We have an issue with our wedding. We're gonna have to cancel. Oh, Mr. My last name, is everything all right? Not really. I'm afraid the bride-to-be is still in love with her ex-boyfriend, so much so that she put his name on the invitations. There was a gasp on the other end. I know the $10,000 deposit is non-refundable, I said. I'm eating that. I just need to make sure my card isn't charged for the balance. Please confirm the cancellation via email. Of course, Grant. I am so sorry. Me too, I said. Thanks. Step 3, the vendors, 7:20 p.m. One by one. The florist, $3,000 deposit, lost, canceled. The band, $2,500 deposit, lost, canceled. The cake, $1,000 deposit, lost, canceled. The photographer, $4,000 deposit, lost. This one hurt. I liked him. Canceled. Total cost of this typo, $20,500, cheaper than a divorce, I figured. Step 4, the typo fix. I logged into the wedding website Eliza had so meticulously built. It had the full guest list, all 200 emails. I clicked email all guests. I drafted a new email. Subject, an important correction regarding the my last name, Eliza wedding. Dear friends and family, you may soon be receiving a beautifully printed invitation to the wedding of Eliza and Julian. This was, apparently, a typo. As the actual groom, Grant, I've decided to fix this little clerical error. The wedding of Grant and Eliza is canceled. However, I've already paid a massive non-refundable bar tab at a fantastic venue, and I hate to see good booze go to waste. Therefore, I cordially invite you to Grant's I'm Single Again party, same date, same time. New venue, the Apex Lounge, address. Come celebrate my narrow escape. Gifts are not expected, but your presence and thirst is appreciated. See you there. Grant, I stared at the send button. My hand was shaking. This was the point of no return. I thought about Eliza and Julian. I clicked send. Step 5, the aftermath. 8:00 p.m. present. My phone started to melt. Texts, emails. My best man Ben was the first. Dude, holy, I'm calling you. My mom, honey, please call me. What is going on? Mutual friends. WTF, this is a joke, right? OMG, Grant, I am so sorry. Then, Eliza's phone, which she'd left on the coffee table, started to melt. She and her mom were still in the kitchen, blissfully arguing about peonies. I heard her walk back into the living room. God, who is blowing up my... She picked up her phone. The silence was deafening. I just sat in my office waiting. Grant? She said, her voice small. Grant, what is the Apex Lounge? I walked out. She was paper white. That's my fix, I said. I canceled the wedding and invited everyone to a party instead, at a different venue. You're not invited. You canceled? She shrieked. You what? The wedding. It's off. You can't marry Julian if I've already canceled the venue, Eliza. It was a typo, she screamed, her face turning crimson. A typo. You psychopath. You ruined my wedding. No, I said, grabbing my keys and my laptop bag. You did, when you put his name on the invite. I'm calling the venue. I'm fixing this. You can't. Go ahead, I said. The deposits are gone. The contracts are voided. All in my name. All paid by me. I was walking to the door when her mom, Diana, finally processed what was happening. She stood in the doorway blocking me. You are not. You are going to fix this. You are going to call everyone back and then apologize. You have humiliated my daughter. She humiliated me, I said, moving past her. Have a good night, Diana. Oh, and Eliza, I'll be changing the locks on my condo tomorrow. You should probably make some plans. I left. I'm at Ben's house now. My phone has 18 missed calls from Eliza, 12 from Diana, and 34 texts, and 1 voicemail from Diana. I put it on speaker for Ben to hear. Grant, you son of a... You listen to me. You have ruined my daughter. You canceled her dream wedding. You canceled the florist. I am going to sue you. I'm going to sue you for everything you have. You will pay for the dress. You will pay for the cake. You will. You. It just dissolved into screaming. Ben just looked at me wide-eyed and handed me a beer. Dude, he said, that $20 was the best money you ever spent. I think he's right. Update 1. It's been a week. I'm writing this from a sterile, furnished corporate apartment. My company owes me a favor, and my fiancée put her ex's name on our wedding invites. It was a good enough reason to cash it in. I haven't been back to my condo. First things first, the I'm single again party is 100% on. The Apex Lounge was bemused, but totally cool with me transferring the bar tab. I think the manager gave me a pity discount. The fallout has been biblical. My condo is premarital. I bought it 5 years before I met Eliza. But as my lawyer, yes, I have one now, shout out to Greg, informed me she has tenants' rights. I couldn't just change the locks. So I had her formally served with a 30-day notice to vacate. This did not go over well. She's still in the condo and she's not happy. She finally called me from a blocked number, and I stupidly answered. You served me? She shrieked. You had a stranger come to my door and serve me? Like I'm a criminal? I'm following the law, Eliza. You have 30 days to move your things. Move my things? This is my home. You are abusive, Grant. This is financial abuse. You canceled my dream. You put your ex-boyfriend's name on the invitation, Eliza. That was your dream, apparently, not mine. It was a typo. A mistake. How many times do I have to say it? I was stressed. My mother was. I uploaded the wrong file. It didn't mean anything. It meant enough, I said. I'm blocking this number now. All communication needs to go through my lawyer, Greg. You have his card. I hung up. But the entitlement has just mutated. Yesterday, I got a registered letter at my office. It was from Diana. It was an invoice. A meticulously itemized 5-page invoice for $28,450. It included $10,000 for purchase of non-refundable wedding gown and accessories, $5,000 for emotional distress and humiliation caused by libelous email. She used the word libelous. It's not libel if it's true. $3,500 for prepaid non-refundable beauty treatments, tanning, facials, hair trials. $2,000 for loss of deposits for bridal shower venue. $1,500 for custom-made cake topper. And my personal favorite, $6,450 for consultation fees for wedding planning services rendered by Diana, her last name. She was billing me for helping? I just stared at it. The $1,500 for the cake topper jumped out at me. It was this custom-made silhouette thing. I have the Amex charge on my statement. I paid for it. Not her, not Diana. They were trying to double dip. I scanned the invoice and emailed it to Greg with the subject line, FYI, this seems ambitious. Greg called me back, laughing. Do not respond, he said. This is what we call amateur hour. It's legally meaningless. It's a tantrum on paper. But the artifact, the cake topper, it bothered me. I paid for it. It was mine, and it was presumably still in my condo. Then, the dirty trick. I got an alert from my bank, a fraud alert. Someone had tried to cash a check from my old dormant checking account, an account I haven't used in 3 years. The check was made out to Diana, her last name. The amount? $15,000. The memo line, vendor payment, wedding. It was Eliza. She must have found an old checkbook in the back of a drawer in my office and tried to pay her mother for her consulting fees. The check obviously bounced. The account was overdrawn by about $14,980. But it was attempted fraud. Criminal. I called Greg. He wasn't laughing anymore. Okay, he said. This is good for us. This is very good. I'm sending this to her lawyer right now with a note. This is how we get her out of the condo before 30 days. Greg sent a blistering email to Eliza's new lawyer, a bottom feeder Diana must have found in the phone book, that very politely outlined the check fraud. He suggested that, in lieu of his client, me, pressing criminal charges, Eliza should agree to vacate the property in 48 hours and sign a full release of all property, save for her personal belongings. Her lawyer must have told her how much jail time felony check fraud carries. I got an email 2 hours later. A single line from her lawyer, Miss, her last name, will vacate the premises by 5 p.m. Friday. That's tomorrow. Ben and I are going over with a police escort just to supervise the move out. The I'm single again party is officially back on at my soon-to-be exorcised condo. I'm changing the locks for real the second she's gone. Update 2, final. It's over. I'm sitting in my condo. It smells weird, like burnt hair and cheap perfume. But I'm here. And it's mine. The move out was a spectacle. I showed up with Ben and 2 police officers. The officers were incredibly professional, just stood by the door to keep the peace. Eliza was there with Diana. They had not packed. They had apparently spent the last 48 hours grieving. And by grieving, I mean destroying my stuff. It wasn't overt, it was petty. My favorite leather chair? A long, thin razor cut down the back cushion. My high-end blender? Gone. My entire collection of spices? Dumped into the kitchen sink. My toothbrush? Found it in the toilet. And the smell? She had apparently emptied every bottle of perfume she owned onto my mattress. I'll have to burn it. Diana started immediately. You brought cops? You're arresting her? You monster. Ma'am, the officer said, we're here to prevent a breach of the peace. Mister, my last name is allowing Miss, her last name, to retrieve her personal items. These are her items. Diana shrieked, gesturing wildly at my television. She lives here. This is her home. No, it's not, I said, my voice dead. Greg's email, 48 hours. Get your stuff, now. Eliza just sat on the floor, crying. You did this, you hate me. I do now, I said. You wrote a fraudulent check for $15,000, Eliza. You tried to steal from me. Get your stuff. That's when I saw it. The custom cake topper. The $1,500 artifact I paid for. It was on the dining table. It was defaced. She'd taken a black marker and drawn, well, let's just say she drew some vulgar things on the silhouette of me. And she'd snapped her own silhouette off at the ankles. You can't have that, I said, pointing at it. My mother paid for this, Eliza screamed, grabbing it. No, she didn't, I said. I pulled up the Amex charge on my phone. I did. That's my property. Put it down. She held it. A real standoff. The cops tensed. Then, with a final primal scream, she threw it against the wall. It shattered into a dozen pieces. Fine, she sobbed. Now it's nothing, like you. The officer stepped forward. Ma'am, you need to gather your belongings and leave. Now, or you will be arrested for property damage. It took them 2 hours. They filled a U-Haul van. Diana tried to take my sofa. The officer had to intervene and asked to see a receipt. She couldn't, because I bought it. Finally, they were gone. The door closed. The officers left. I stood in my ruined, smelly apartment. And I just laughed. I lost a chair, a mattress, and a blender. It cost me about $25,000 in lost deposits and damages, and it was worth every single penny. The I'm single again party was 2 weeks ago. I had the condo professionally cleansed, biohazard cleaners basically, and it was the best party of my life. Over 100 people showed up, my friends, my family, and hilariously about half of our mutual friends. The ones who had heard the full story, aided by the forwarded email of course, and were disgusted by her. Ben made a speech. To Grant, a man who knows when to fold 'em and when to throw a banger of a party with the pot. We used a copy of the Eliza and Julian invitation as kindling for the fireplace. It was cathartic. The aftermath? I heard from a mutual friend that Eliza and Diana are furious. Not just at me, but at the world. Their smear campaign failed. My libelous email was just the truth. Eliza is living with her mom. And Julian? The man she sacrificed her life for? He actually messaged me on Instagram. Hey man, heard what went down, that's insane. Just wanted to say I had nothing to do with it. She's a lot. No hard feelings. He wasn't in on it, he wasn't her co-conspirator. She'd just been obsessing, fantasizing, staring at an old file named Eliza and Julian until she convinced herself it was real. It's pathetic. I'm not even angry anymore. I'm just done. I'm out $25. I'm sleeping on an air mattress until my new bed arrives. I need a new blender, but I'm free. I didn't marry into that family. I didn't tie my life to a woman who would commit a felony over a typo. The revenge wasn't the party. The revenge was believing her. I said I'll fix it, and I did. My girlfriend posted, "Single girl summer loading," while we were still together. I didn't comment. I just liked the post and started packing her things into storage. When she came home to an empty closet and a lease termination notice, her summer started earlier than expected. Original post I, 29 male, was scrolling Instagram during my lunch break when I saw it. My girlfriend, Natalie, 27, had posted a photo of herself in a bikini with her friends at some rooftop pool. Caption: single girl summer loading. Time to live my best life. No more settling. We'd been together 2 years. Living together for 8 months. I literally made her breakfast that morning. The comments were already pouring in. Yes, queen, finally. About time you dumped him. Hot girl summer incoming. I sat there, sandwich halfway to my mouth, reading comment after comment from her friends congratulating her on being single. Meanwhile, she'd kissed me goodbye 4 hours earlier and said, "Love you, babe." My coworker Nathan looked over. "You good, man?" I showed him the phone. His eyes went wide. "Bro? What? Yeah. You gonna comment?" "Nope." I liked the post. Then I went back to my sandwich. Nathan thought I was in shock. Maybe I was, but mostly I was doing math. Our lease had 3 months left. The early termination fee was 2 months' rent. I had $8,000 in savings. She spent her last paycheck on that rooftop pool party outfit. I finished my shift, went home to our apartment. Natalie wasn't there. Probably still at the pool living her best life. Her stuff was everywhere. Designer purses she couldn't afford without my help. The PlayStation I bought but she claimed was ours. The coffee maker she picked out but I paid for. Started with her closet. Everything went into boxes. Methodical, calm, like packing for a move, which I guess it was. Her move. Found the lease agreement. We were both on it, but I was the primary. Read the fine print about lease breaking. Found the storage unit placed 2 blocks away. They had a promotion, first month free. By 6 p.m., I had rented a storage unit, packed 6 boxes of her clothes, boxed her makeup collection that took up our entire bathroom counter, carefully wrapped her live, laugh, love wall decorations. I know, I should have seen the red flags. She texted around 7, "At Becca's place." "Don't wait up," I replied. "Have fun." Kept packing. Found the birthday gift I'd bought her for next month. Expensive perfume she'd been dropping hints about. Returned it online while sitting on the floor surrounded by boxes. Update 1 worked through the night. By morning, everything that was definitively hers was packed. 23 boxes total. The apartment looked sparse but clean, like when I first moved in before she arrived. Took the day off work, rented a U-Haul. 4 trips to the storage unit. The guy working there raised an eyebrow at the amount but said nothing. Gave me the lock and key. Natalie finally came home at 2 p.m. the next day. Still in yesterday's clothes, sunglasses on, clearly hungover. "Babe, crazy night. Becca's boyfriend brought his friends in." She stopped, looked around the near-empty apartment. "What? Where's my stuff?" "In storage." I handed her the key and the address. "First month's free." Her hungover brain struggled. "Storage? Why is my stuff in storage?" "Well, you're single now. Congrats on your summer, by the way." The sunglasses came off. "What are you talking about?" I showed her the Instagram post. Her face went pale, then red. "That was just, it didn't mean anything. It was for the pics, you know how social media is." "Right, which is why all your friends congratulated you on dumping me." "I didn't tell them we broke up." "No? So single girl summer, and no more settling means what exactly?" She tried to deflect. "You're overreacting. It's just an expression." "Cool, well here's another expression. Lease termination." I handed her the notice I'd filled out. "I'm ending the lease. 60 days notice starting today. You'll need to figure out where you're living for your single summer." "You can't do that. We're both on the lease." "I'm the primary leaseholder." "Already talked to the office. You can take over the lease if you qualify on your own. Spoiler alert, you need to make 3 times the rent." She made $2,200 a month at her retail job. Rent was $1,400. This is insane. Over an Instagram post? "Natalie, you announced to everyone we know that you're single while living in my apartment, eating food I buy, using utilities I pay for. You wanted to be single? Wish granted." She started crying, but not sad crying, angry crying. "You can't just throw me out. I have rights. You have 60 days. That's your rights." Then came the bargaining. "Baby, please, I'll delete the post. I'll tell everyone it was a joke." Already screenshotted. Plus, Becca reposted it to her story with "finally free," so that ship has sailed. She switched tactics, started yelling about how I was controlling, abusive, manipulative, how this proved she was right to want to be single. Okay, so we agree, you should be single. She grabbed her phone, started texting furiously. 20 minutes later, Becca and 2 other friends showed up. Madison and Jenna, the whole summer squad. Becca immediately started in. Are you seriously kicking her out over a caption? Toxic much? She announced she was single. I'm respecting her decision. Madison jumped in. It's called having fun. Not everything needs to be so serious. Right, and now she's free to have all the fun she wants, somewhere else. Jenna tried the sympathy angle. But where will she go? That's a great question for single Natalie to figure out. Natalie was rage-packing what little remained. Toiletries, phone charger, the coffee maker. I let her think it was hers. I'm going to stay with my mom. She'll see how crazy you're being. Good idea. Tell Patricia I said hi. They left in a fury of door slamming and muttered insults. Becca shouted something about small dick energy. Madison said I'd die alone. Jenna just shook her head like I was pathetic. 20 minutes later, Patricia called. Update 2. Patricia, Natalie's mom, started soft. Honey, Natalie's very upset. What happened? I sent her the Instagram post. Long pause. Oh. I see. She announced she was single while living with me, Patricia. She says it was just for fun with her friends. Would you stay with someone who publicly announced they were single? Another pause. Well, she's young. She makes mistakes. She's 27, and this wasn't a mistake. It was a decision. She can stay with you, right? My apartment is very small. There it was. Patricia lived in a studio. She'd been thrilled when Natalie moved in with me because it meant not having her daughter on her couch anymore. Well, I'm sure you'll figure it out. The storage unit is paid for 1 month. After Patricia, the calls started. Natalie's brother, her cousin, even her hairdresser, who she was apparently crying to during an emergency appointment. To everyone, I said the same thing. She announced she was single. I'm helping her be single. But the best part came that evening. Natalie posted again. When he shows you his true colors, believe him. # narcissist alert, dodged a bullet. The comments rolled in. What happened, babe? Are you okay? Men are trash. She was painting herself as the victim. Fine, I had time. I posted my own update. Just the screenshot of her single girl summer post with a simple caption. When someone tells you they're single, believe them. The mutual friends who saw both posts started connecting dots. My phone buzzed with messages. Wait, she said she was single while living with you? Bro, I thought you guys were good. She's been planning girls' trips all month talking about being single. That last one was from Tom, who was dating Madison. He sent screenshots of a group chat where Natalie had been talking about her summer of freedom for weeks. Planning trips, discussing which apps to download, rating guys at her gym. I forwarded those to Patricia. Her response, oh my. Day 3. Natalie showed up with a police officer. Said I illegally evicted her and stole her belongings. I showed the officer the lease agreement, the 60-day notice, and the storage unit receipt with her name on it. Sir, her belongings are in storage, the officer asked. Yes, sir. Here's the key and address. First month is paid. And she has 60 days notice? Correct. She's free to stay until then, but she announced on social media that she's single, so I assume she'd prefer to stay elsewhere. The officer looked tired. Ma'am, this is a civil matter. He hasn't illegally evicted you. But my stuff, Natalie wailed, is in storage, which he paid for. She tried another angle. He's harassing me. How? He liked my Instagram post. The officer actually rubbed his temples. Ma'am, please collect your things from storage. Sir, can she get her belongings? She has the key. Storage unit B12. The officer left. Natalie stood in the doorway. You're really doing this. You're really single. Congrats. I hate you. That's fine. You have 57 more days to hate me. Then you need to hate me from somewhere else. Update 3. Week 2 of Single Girl Summer got interesting. Natalie had been couch surfing. 3 nights at Becca's, 2 at Madison's, back to Becca's. According to Tom, who became my unexpected informant, she was already wearing out her welcome. Leaving messes, eating their food, complaining constantly about me. Then she realized something important. Her mail still came to the apartment, including her paycheck. She hadn't set up direct deposit despite me telling her to for months. She texted, I need to get my mail. It's in the mailbox. You have a key. The mailbox is locked. Use your key? You changed the locks. On the apartment, not the mailbox. Turns out she'd lost her mailbox key months ago and had been using mine. She had to go to the post office, prove residency, awkward since she'd announced she didn't live here, and pay $25 for a new key. But here's where it got petty. Her gym membership auto-renewed. The card on file expired. They emailed the account on file, the one I'd set up for her because she wasn't good with that tech stuff. I forwarded it to her. Thanks, she texted. No problem. B2W, you'll need to update all your accounts. That email address is shutting down in 30 days. What? You can't do that. It's on my domain. Natalie at my domain. You're not at my domain anymore. She called screaming. I didn't answer. She texted 43 times in an hour. I responded once, Gmail is free. Then Tom sent me something interesting. A screenshot from Tinder. Natalie's profile. Fresh out of a toxic relationship, ready to find a real man who can handle a strong, independent woman. The bio included, 5'7", yoga enthusiast, foodie, must have your own place, staying with mommy is a red flag. Love travel and wine tasting. No broke boys. I laughed so hard I nearly choked. She was staying on couches and had $47 in her account. Tom's girlfriend Madison had complained about Natalie asking to borrow money. Day 18. Natalie tried a new strategy. She showed up at 11 p.m., drunk, crying. Derek, please, I miss you. I miss us. You're drunk? Go home. This is my home. Our home. For 42 more days, then it's just my home. I made a mistake. One stupid post. And weeks of planning your single summer in group chats and a Tinder profile and telling everyone I'm toxic. Her eyes widened. How did you know about Tinder, Natalie? You used photos I took of you. My friend Kevin matched with you and sent me screenshots. She started ugly crying. I was just exploring options. I never met anyone. That's because you put must have your own place when you're literally homeless. That set her off. I'm not homeless. I'm between situations. Right, we'll go be between situations somewhere else. It's late. Can I at least use the bathroom? I almost said no, but I'm not a monster. Fine. 5 minutes. She was in there for 20. Came out with her makeup fixed, hair done. Tried to sit on the couch. Nope. Time to go. It's late, dangerous. Call an Uber, or Becca, or one of your Tinder matches with their own place. She left, but not before trying to take the spare phone charger. I held out my hand. She threw it at me. Update 4, day 30. The storage unit's free month was ending. Natalie had to figure out what to do with her stuff. She texted, can't afford storage. Can I keep some boxes in the apartment? No. Just a few. No. You're being petty. You're being single. She convinced Becca to help her move everything from storage to Patricia's studio apartment. Patricia called me that evening. There are boxes everywhere. I can barely walk. That sounds frustrating. Can't you just work it out? She made a mistake. Patricia. She planned this for weeks, told everyone she was single, made a Tinder profile. This wasn't a mistake, it was a choice. But she loves you. She loves my apartment and stability. There's a difference. Patricia sighed. She can't stay here long term. She's an adult with a job. She'll figure it out. Day 35. Natalie found a room to rent, $800 a month in a house with 4 other people. 1 bathroom. The landlord was Stan, a 58-year-old who'd already messaged her on Instagram with, "Hey beautiful." She texted, "This is your fault. I have to live with creeps because of you. You wanted independence. This is what it looks like. I can't afford this and food and transportation. Budget better. Help me." No. She tried manipulation. If you ever loved me, you'd help. If you ever respected me, you wouldn't have announced you were single on Instagram. Day 45. Tom told me Natalie had been fired from her job. Apparently, she'd been calling in sick, constantly, hungover, showing up late, and spending her shifts crying in the bathroom. The final straw was when she tried to promote her side hustle, selling makeup she couldn't afford to buy in bulk to customers. She didn't tell anyone for 3 days. Just kept leaving Patricia's place like she was going to work. Becca finally posted about it. "If anyone knows of job openings, my girl needs opportunities. She's amazing at sales and customer service." The comments were less supportive than expected. Didn't she just get fired? My boyfriend said she was always on her phone at work. Good luck, but maybe she should focus on stability? Single girl summer was not going as planned. Day 50. I got a formal-looking email. Natalie had hired a legal advocate, not a real lawyer, just some paralegal she found on Craigslist, demanding I pay her moving expenses, emotional damages, and relocation assistance. I forwarded it to my actual lawyer friend who laughed and sent back, "Tell her to pound sand, legally speaking." I replied to the email, "No." The advocate sent 3 more increasingly aggressive emails. I responded to each with, "No." Final update day 60. Lease termination day. I'd already signed a new lease for the apartment, just me this time. Got a better rate too since I'd been a good tenant for 3 years. The landlord even thanked me for handling the situation maturely. Natalie showed up one last time with Becca and a borrowed pickup truck to get the furniture she claimed was hers. I had receipts ready. The couch? Here's the receipt. I bought it. The TV stand? Receipt. Mine. The bed? Definitely mine. Receipt from before we met. She ended up with a lamp she'd bought at a garage sale and a throw pillow. Becca tried one more time. "You're really gonna let her leave with nothing?" She left with what she came with. Nothing. "You're heartless." "I'm single, just like she wanted to be." As they were leaving, Natalie turned. "I loved you, you know." "No, you loved the lifestyle. There's a difference. I hope you're happy alone. Happier than I was pretending she wasn't planning to leave me while sleeping in my bed." She started to say something else, then stopped. They left. That night, I saw her final Instagram post about the situation. Chapter closed. Sometimes the universe removes people to protect you. On to bigger and better things. #new beginnings, blessed. 37 likes, down from her usual 200 plus. Even her followers were tired of the drama. Tom messaged me a week later. Natalie had moved back to her hometown 3 hours away, living with her dad and his new wife, working at a call center. No rooftop pools, no brunches, no single girl summer. Madison had apparently said, "She fumbled so hard. Derek was like the best thing that ever happened to her, and she threw it away for Instagram likes." Even Becca had admitted, maybe announcing you're single while living with your boyfriend wasn't the smartest move. As for me, I'm good. Apartments peaceful. Rebuilt my savings. Actually started dating someone. Met her at a coffee shop when she complimented my book choice. She doesn't have Instagram. Found out last month that Natalie tried to come back. Showed up at my building but couldn't get in. Changed the entry codes. Left a letter with the doorman about how she'd grown and learned and deserved a second chance. I didn't respond, but I did hear from Patricia. Natalie's still in her hometown. Still single. Still posting about being a boss babe and knowing her worth while selling protein shakes to her high school classmates. The kicker? Her bio still says, "No settling." Guess she got what she wanted. No settling, no apartment, no stability, no relationship. Just that single girl summer that turned into a harsh winter reality. Someone asked if I regret not giving her another chance. Here's the thing. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. She showed me she was someone who'd publicly humiliate me for social media validation, who'd plan her exit while taking my support, who'd rather look single for strangers online than be partnered in real life. That's not someone you give second chances to. That's someone you let live with the consequences of their choices. Her single girl summer? It started exactly when she wanted it to. It just came with a price tag she couldn't afford.